In this video, I want to show you a destructive UVing technique which allows you to UV just about anything with perfect clarity. Now, what I mean by destructive here is that we're not going to be generating nodes for each one of our actions. All I want to do is work in a way that doesn't save every single action that I do. For this, I want to jump into a different application and show you what this workflow looks like and the benefits of doing things this way. And then we'll go into Houdini and talk about some of the limitations when it comes to that. So here in Modo, don't worry if you don't have Modo, you don't need it to follow along here. Check this out. I want to UV the roof, right? So what I'll do is I'll go section by section. I can highlight all these faces very easily. I can say project from view. I can then relax, switch it to a conformal algorithm, relax it one more time to adaptive, and now I have a perfectly UV'd section right here. Once we have that, if we then press H, we can hide those polygons, and the beautiful thing about this is now I can't select the things that I've already UV'd. If I want to bring that island back though, it's not like it's deleted. I can press U for unhide, and that'll bring all the polygons back. I don't need a fuse node. I don't need to merge any vertices because everything still exists just fine. However, the beauty of this workflow is that if we hide this section right here, now as I UV everything else, I can very easily tell which areas have already been UV'd. So let's say that I do something like this now. I can just go, let's say, project from view, and sometimes it freaks out, but if you do it twice, you'll be all right. Relax. I can go through the same exact process again. And the beautiful thing is that if I miss any faces by accident, it'll be very obvious that I did so. And we could see that right here. Notice this strip of polygons that I accidentally missed. And so the beautiful thing about hiding the faces like this, and the beautiful thing about this destructive workflow, is that I can very easily tell when I make a mistake. So now in this situation, I could say, oh, whoops, I made a mistake. Let's press Ctrl Z to undo, and I can just grow my selection, project from view, and we're pretty much good to go. Get a straight on angle like that with the camera, relax again, and everything is fine. So I'm going to pause this video. The idea is that you keep on doing this process over and over again for each section of the roof until you have all of your UV islands made. Once you've gone through each one of the sections and your object disappears, the last step is to press U to unhide all the polygons. It's going to be a bit of a mess at first, but then we highlight everything, we go to pack, we pack the UVs. It doesn't take any time at all to do so. It's really, really fast, and we're good to go. If we try doing the same kind of workflow in Houdini, it might look something like this. So we have a skull here, and let's say that we want to project onto a section of the skull. Let's say right here on the top, kind of like what we did on the roof. Well, we would select some faces like that, Shift G, expand the selection, and then we go to UV editing right there, hold down C, and we say UV project. But uh-oh, what happened there? Look at that. We didn't actually project on the faces that we just selected. Instead, it brought us to vertex mode. And honestly, I can't tell what the topology is doing either. I can't tell where the faces are. But we now have to reselect everything that we just selected, and then we have to press Enter. And the main issue here is that once we have this section, it's not like we can just hide those faces. You can't use a blast node because that'll change the point numbers. And so that's not going to work. And on top of that, it's like if we try just going around the topology of that section, we're going to miss a face or something at some point, especially when we're forced into that vertex preview mode. And so the long story short is that you just can't get the same workflow right now in Houdini as far as I know. Let's also take a look at the auto UV performance by comparison. So the auto UVs here that we see right now are from Houdini originally. That took about 6 minutes to project all of this information. And we also have a lot of distortion. So if we zoom in here, the scale is not correct on this section right here. This is too small, this is too large. And so we do have some issues with how this projected. Now, by contrast, if we go with the auto UV projection, that's available in Modo or in other software applications as well, then you'll find that one, it projects way faster. This is going to probably take about 30 to 45 seconds. And we're also going to see a lot less distortion in the individual UV islands. So we're already just about done with the projection. It'll take a second, but there we go, all done. And then we zoom in and look at that. Much, much better. We don't have those bad distorted areas like we had last time. So all of this really goes to say that if you want to UV something in a professional setting, my advice to you is to not use Houdini. Unless you want to do something procedural or there's a specific reason to use Houdini. I realize they have some really cool packing algorithms that allow you to stack islands on top of each other and this and that. But honestly, it's just not as competitive as the other software applications when it comes to this task. And I wouldn't be doing you guys justice if I didn't give you my honest opinion about that. So to wrap this up, when it comes to UVs, figure out something besides Houdini for the most part. And on top of that, you want to either auto UV everything, or if you have a reason to UV something perfectly, then try doing that section by section and project from the camera, because that honestly is the best way to get exactly what you want, and no matter what application you're in, and that's generally how you go about that. Okay, so also one other thing, when it comes to UV software, I would recommend the Rhizome UV. I do recommend Modo, that's what I use, and that's all I can really attest to. I'm sure that you can get great results using Maya or Blender or something else, but Houdini just doesn't fit that bill at the moment. In the next video, let's switch gears. I'll talk about Substance Painter and go into some more artistic principles when it comes to creating this skull for our still life.